Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm sorry for the delay. It's out of my hands, but props to the Vue School team who worked on making it possible anyway as a free event. Thank you for organizing it. Today, I'm going to talk about the state of Nuxt, but before, let me check if everything works before. Seems okay. Let's continue. I'm at Linux, also known as bastien Chopin, or the opposite as you prefer. You can find me on the social network with @Linux. At Chopin might be harder to find me with this. I'm the CEO at NuxtLabs. And in case you don't know, but I guess you know, Nuxt is a web framework to create full-stack Vue applications. Nuxt 2 was possible also to create full-stack Vue application, but it was a bit harder when we talk about the server part. But on Nuxt 3, this is a game changer thanks to the Nitro engine that some of the other speakers will be talking about. I don't know if you remember, but Nuxt 3.0 was released less than a year ago, November 16. And what happened in 11 months? Well, we are very close in terms of download. So Nuxt Vue Bundle, the orange line is Nuxt 3 downloads, and the Nuxt CLI is Nuxt 2. That's how I can see the difference. So we are very close to hit the same number of downloads. But if we take a look, we are about 52% of Nuxt 2 downloads versus 48. When I presented in Vue Amsterdam in February, we were about 28%. So thank you for migrating to Nuxt 3 or testing Nuxt 3. And last month, we reached 1 million NPM downloads. I know this is a hard metrics. If some of you use PNPM or others, but we don't have so many metrics. But thank you for downloading Nuxt. And in 48 weeks, which is similar to 11 months, you guys were busy. We had 2,730 issues. And I'm very glad to have a wonderful core team being able to close 80% of them, and as well as the community helping. And it's about 8 issues per day. And I'm only talking about the framework, not the modules. About the pull requests, we're about 1,850 pull requests in 11 months or 48 weeks. And 98% of them were merged or closed. And only 2% are open left. And it's about 5 pull requests per day. So thank you, guys. Thank you to these more than 1,000 contributors. And if some of you are in this screen, thank you. And maybe some of you who are not will be there on the next conference. I will let you guys try to find some of your friends or yourself. And in 336 days, ou 336 jours en français, we had time to release Nuxt image, which is still in release candidate right now. Let's see at the end of the conference if it's still in release candidate. And to optimize your images, IPX 2.0, the image engine to resize, has been released yesterday. We also have content management, same as in Nuxt 2, but for Nuxt 3, it was released early this year, which has
Hey, Sebastian.
Yes.
It looks like we are seeing full presenter mode and not just the one screen. So I don't know if you could reshare it so we can make sure, not that it's a big deal, but the bigger screen would be helpful.
I guess so.
Okay.
Is it better now?
Let's. Looking good. Try one more slide just so we double check. Perfect. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. You guys were already in advance to know the next slide. Thanks, I didn't spoil too much. So Nuxt image, Nuxt content, Nuxt DevTools. Maybe some of you have used it. Nice work from Anthony and the community behind. If you haven't tried, I highly recommend it. It helps to know your router configuration, the virtual files, many things, and the module can plug into it to display more panels. We also have a Nuxt UI, which was released 4 months ago, after more than a year of building it internally for Nuxt Studio. So very proud of Benjamin's work on this. And more than 160 modules published by the community. You guys are crazy. It's about 1 module every 2 days since the launch, and about 300 modules exist, but more than the half is now compatible with Nuxt 3. So thank you. And I know what you guys are going to tell me. What about Nuxt Out? I know it's tricky. It's tricky because on Nuxt we have a lot of different rendering modes. So we've been working on it, but also the community has done some nice work on modules. And Emmanuel done that might speak at 640 instead of 625. That is going to talk about the different Nuxt 3 authentication system. And he's also a contributor on JS and Nitro, so he goes back to the root of how to handle session on the server side. And I also made a small demo. This one is open source, called Nuxt Studio Edge. So you can basically log in with your account. So it handles authentication. You can refresh, it handles server-side rendering. And for this, I'm using what is already done and exists in Nuxt. If I take a look at the server part and on the utils, we have utils from H3, which is the server used by Nitro, and Nitro is the server used by Nuxt. I'm going to draw a nice schema on the documentation very soon to explain all of this. But we have utils such as get user session, set user session. And based on this, you can set a secure cookie, get it back by creating your own session composable. I know it's not that easy that compared to Nuxt 2, but we are working on the foundation of a Nuxt Auth that will be called Nuxt Auth Core, and it will have to work on all the different rendering mode, and it's coming early next year. But in the meantime, we have a nice community project. And in 8,064 hours, we have seen Truffaut, for the French people who likes to garden, which is an e-commerce website, Le Collectionniste, which is similar to Airbnb, Malt for the freelance that wants to find a job, Spotify website, OpenAI marketing website. We have also an indie hacker who built a nice business with Nuxt 3 online. Another shop, a marketing website for a headless CMS that you may have heard of, and a game website. And according to our internal telemetries, it's quite hard to know how many websites use Nuxt 3 today. We are seeing 50,000 projects for September done. So some of them are public, some of them not. But guys, you are great. And for this, I really want to thank you for your trust, for some of them that are here since 2016, the new one who wanted to try Nuxt 3. Thank you. One note about Nuxt 2. Even though Vue.js end of life is planned for the end of this year, we pushed the end of life of Nuxt 2 till June 2024 for those who want to take more time to migrate or doesn't have the chance to migrate sooner. Also, something I want to clarify is Nuxt has no vendor locked-in, which means that compared to other frameworks, you can actually deploy it everywhere without limitation. And those platforms are only some of them, but you can actually deploy on node hosting, Dino, potentially Bun if they offer hosting, Cloudflare Workers, static website by using Nuxt Generate, or goes beyond, it's way too tight here, goes beyond with using hybrid rendering. So that's one of the biggest features in Nuxt 3. It's not that easy, but once you understand it, it's very powerful. On that example, I specified route rules where my landing page will be pre-rendered when I run Nuxt build. So it will generate an index.html file. And then I have a different strategy. Let's take a look at the demo that maybe some of you have seen. Some of you know Daniel Rowe. So he made this nice little demo where you can see that the landing page will be revalidated every 60 seconds in the background. So it will render a cache version. So let's take a look. I refresh, generated 30 minutes ago. In the background, it will render, and I refresh again. I have the page generated 5 seconds ago. And then it will be cached for 60 seconds. The next call revalidates. So this is working on Vercel. We have a dynamic one that say it's always fresh. Let's hit the dynamic one. And if I refresh, we can see the page has been generated on demand. One more. We have a static and we have SPA, which is quite nice if you have a dashboard and don't want to be server rendered and have this to be indexed by the search engine. So let's go on /SPA. I'm stressed and I don't even see you. That's maybe just speaking in front of my computer makes me nervous. And if I take a look at the source code, we can see it has been client-side rendered. Highly recommend you to check this repo out. Give it a star because Daniel deserves more star. Back to the hybrid rendering. Recently, we released, but we did not announce it. It's under an experimental feature, but you can define a route rule in your page. By using define route rules, you can specify at the page level in your Vue files what strategy you want to give. So try it out, give us some feedback. This is a neat feature. For some of you who use Discord or Twitter, you may have seen that we have a new website. And it has been a lot of work in the last month, but we didn't want to change many things, mostly giving a better accessibility toward the documentation, the navigation, and the biggest pain point for me, and I think for the community, was the search. So we improved the search by giving a navigation to start with, so you can jump quickly between the different pages. You can search in different areas of the documentation. If you want to, you can also switch to the light mode, because why not? You can also search for a module and go into the module landing page and switch back to dark mode. You can read the article and more details on /blog/new-website. And we also open sourced the website available on GitHub. One note about the Nuxt sustainability. I have to thank a lot our sponsors who help us to be sustainable. Platinum sponsor, gold sponsors, silver, and bronze. But also you guys who bake us for many years. Thank you very much. I also created NuxtLabs in March 2017 to offer commercial solutions for Nuxt. One of them that you may have seen we released it 2 weeks ago is Nuxt Studio, and it's made for people who use Nuxt content. I use Nuxt content, so I personally use it, and I will try to show you a small demo if it works, and share the link on the chat. So this is Nuxt Studio. If you're logged in, you can open Studio. You can import your GitHub project. But what I'm going to do is going to the website, edit the nuxt.com project. Hopefully it works. I'm going to the blog. Let's see, a new website, and I am editing this page. But before, I'm going to show you the preview link. So for this, maybe I'm going to break something. Let's try. Paste it on the Vito chat. Okay, and hello, Nuxt Nation. Maybe some of you will be able to see that. And I'm going to drag and drop an image in the Markdown, and I can decide to move it website in this directory. And I can see Baptiste, which is also here, and trying to update something potentially. And that's it. What we can see is the changes. Come on, Bat. We can see the changes, and I can either commit directly or create a new branch, and it's completely synced with Git. It's free also for your personal plan, and we have a premium plan when you want to collaborate. So the demo worked. Nice work from the team. We also have a discount for you. I know it's a lot of ads. I'm sorry about this. But if you want to try with your team, we have 15% off for your first 2 months with Nuxt Nation 2023. And the last project that helped us to ship Nuxt.com faster is called Nuxt UI Pro. And I think we can just showing you this might be better to understand what it is. It's actually higher components for you to ship websites. So if we take a look at this, we have a landing hero, landing section, some landing card. It also works with content, obviously, because we also use a lot of content. And Benjamin had fun doing this. We leverage Nuxt Vue slots, sorry, so you can do whatever you want, put the content you need, and we have default for each content. So you can build things like this. We're going to release templates for you, because what we want at the end is for you to create a website faster and focus on making the features you want. And on this, we have a Nuxt UI Pro is completely free in development, so you can use it as much as you want. And once you're ready to deploy, you can purchase a license for unlimited projects, or if you're a team for up to 20 developers, you'll be invited to our GitHub repo to give us feedback and collaborate on this. So I think that's all, but it's coming end of October because we need to finish the documentation. And that's all for this. So I wanted to, I will let Daniel show all the new features he has been working on with the team on the experimental features. And I hope you enjoy the talk and learn some things from the Nuxt community and what we achieved in the recent months.
I almost did the mute thing again because it is what I'm best at. Thank you. We do have a few questions for you. Granted, I know that you led to that Daniel will have some announcements as well, but where do you see Nuxt in 2024?
Still on GitHub, actually. Don't think we'll move the platform. I see Nuxt having more full stack capabilities. I know we've been working with Pinia on embedding SQLite database by default. And with the move of the database on the edge, I think it would be great if you can create full stack application. And I've been a big fan of Adonis or Laravel, and having this as soon as you add a database by default, even if it's only SQLite, or you can use it if you want, but if you have this, you can build anything without dependencies. You keep the freedom of deploying what you want, using the database you want. And I'm fond of the edge workers, so you can deploy at the cheapest price and be close to your users. So thinking of Cloudflare workers, deploy. full stack experience on the edge. This is why I see Nuxt in 2024.
Great, thank you. And what do you see as the two biggest shortcomings of Nuxt currently?
What is shortcomings?
Like things that could be improved, like things that someone might that aren't the way you may not want them to be.
I will say the documentation, but we are moving in the right direction with the new website. A lot of things could be improved on error handling and debugging. That I think are the biggest pain point. One of the biggest pain points. So documentation, error handling, and the second part would be I forgot. Yeah, definitely for me, error handling and testing, which is not official yet, but we have an XP test util done by Daniel. So testing and error handling for production, to be production ready. Let's say production ready for being confident.
You skipped ahead to one of the other questions of what is the state of testing in Nuxt? So thank you.
Yeah, it's coming.
All right. I like this one. Help me convince my boss to go with Nuxt for our Nuxt web application project.
That's a tough one. It will depend on Vue versus React. But I would say I think the Edge, we may be one of the early Edge framework. This can be a very interesting point to emphasize, I would say. So, and the ease of use, the modules ecosystem. We may work on some why Nuxt to help you also sell your boss.
Now, and I'm pretty sure just the dev tools by itself too is something that Nuxt has that Next doesn't have.
That's
right?
true, but I don't know if the boss will care much.
Probably
What we
not, but
want
it's
and what I always wanted is to make the web building the web fun and also fun to use. So normally a Nuxt website is fun to you can recognize a Nuxt website when you're on it, and normally the developers also enjoy the ride. So
Thank you. And what do you see as the vision for Nuxt UI?
I would better ask Benjamin for this. It's going to be it's a UI library. So of course we are missing some crucial components, but it's a community-driven project. And on UI Pro, it's more it's component to make you build website faster at a faster pace. But it's also going to be community-driven for the people who purchase a license. So like Nuxt, most of the features were driven by the community, and it's going to be the same for Nuxt UI.
Thank you. And last question of where is the Nuxt.com open source code?
github.com/nuxt/nuxt.com.
Yay. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for joining. And we're looking forward to having you on again next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.